What William Shatner made me think about. So, anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So I hope you have a coffee and bagel in hands and ready for a conversation for today. So, every Friday, I like bringing you something that make me stop and think. And usually nothing really heavy, just something that we can sit here and talk about for a few minutes. So this week it was William Shatner. So you might have seen it interview or on a People magazine or things like that already um, about his journey with his daughter. So one of the things I enjoy about being Lifeway brand partner is that they introduce us to conversation that I probably never would have found it or pay attention on my own. Well, this week they released a podcast sponsored by LifeWave with William Shatner and his daughter Melanie about the cancer journey that they went through together a few years ago. And that piqued my interest. It's like, okay, well, that's a story that a father and daughter journey together and how they battle and how they come together in going through that tough time. So I thought it sound, like I said, it was a touching story, and I wanted to listen, right? Um, I wasn't expecting much other than hearing him of who he is, and this, as we all know, he's a Star Trek Captain Kirk, talking about the life, the Hollywoods, and the thing that have, and also the thing that they have been through together. But the conversation took a turn toward the end, and not a bad turn. I mean, it captured my interest big time toward the end. And this is when his daughter start asking him about his life, about the family, being a dad, things that he wished he would have done differently. And honestly, that made me stop. I kind of forgot I was listening to him for a minute, to William Shatner. It it sounded just like a dad just looking back at his life, and that part really got me. I started to think about my own life, being a single mom. I'm working, trying to keep the business going, making sure the boys have everything they need. Not everything, but the thing that they needed. And most of those years, I wasn't asking myself if I was doing everything right. I was just trying to get through the day was the most important part, and just kind of repeat that cycle for years. And I think a lot of us know exactly what that feel like, right? It's just draining, but it's a part of life that we said, hey, this is what I brought here to do, and this is my duty, my responsibility. And you're just trying to do your best at that moment. Then years go by, years go by, and then you look back and think, well, maybe I could have done a few things differently. And not because you fail or not because I fail. It's just because now we know more than we did then. We are a little bit smarter and more mature, right? Or more experienced, I should say. So I think every parent understand that absolutely. Um, at least I believe so. I totally understand that more. But then William, he said something that made me stop. He said, I regret the passage of my strengths. So I thought about that sentence a lot. Not because he was talking about getting older, not because of all the wrinkles. By the way, he looks pretty well for 90 ish, 93, I believe. I mean, the gray hair, he looked great in gray hairs. Oh, another birthday. I was just, it was about not being able to do things he loves to anymore, like the running, the swimming, the skiing, the climbing the mountains. I mean, he has, and you know, he had a lot of experience. He even went out. He even been to outer space. I mean, he had quite a life. As I sit here and listen, I realize that I don't think getting older is what bother him. And not honestly, I don't think that's what bother me either. I think uh, it's about think, think, thinking of all the things I still want to do. Travel more, be there to see Tyler and Matthew grow, and cheer them on, and be able to witness their success, and hopefully one day run around with my grandkid, being the young hip grandma, and have fun with my grandchildren, and basically just keep living. And I think that's what he meant too. You know, a, so a few minutes later, he said something else. He said, I love my life so. I don't want it to end. I don't know. I mean, if you listen to him, it didn't sound sad. He didn't have sadness in his voice. It sounded like gratitude. I mean, he's a man, again, who lived an incredible life. And he still wants another sunrise, another family dinner, another Thanksgiving, another meaningful conversation, another chance to experience life to the fullest. So I I completely understood what he meant. I think that's when I finally answer a question people ask me all the time. Jane, why do you spend so much time talking about wellness? And honestly, I don't think it's because I'm trying to stay young. I mean, that's the side benefit, but I'm not. I mean, I'm happy being 60. I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months, and I'm happy. I earned my place here. I love my life. I have two wonderful young men that I brought up, and I still want to do more. I still have places to go. I still have things that I want to learn. We never stop learning, by the way, and people to spend time with, especially my family, of course. And Friday morning like this, it's fun. It's having coffee with all of you. Those little things, I don't want to lose those moments simply because I can't do them anymore. Maybe that's why this conversation stayed with me. William, William never used the word health span, not once in this podcast, but I think that's exactly what he was talking about. Not living forever. It's just about being able to keep living the life you love. So, here's my Friday bagel for you. Maybe the question isn't how long will I live? Maybe it's more like what do I want to do? What do I want to still be doing in 10, 20, 30 years from now? I mean, I'm 60. I think 30 years from now, I still have a lot of life left. And what do I want to be able to do still? And that's health span, right? Because for me, I don't want to spend my retirement sitting on the sideline or on the couch watching people go by and watching my life just kind of passing. I want to be out there enjoying it. That's the difference. So I love to hear from you. Of course, what's one thing you hope you still do 10, 20, 30 years from now? And if you're young, you may add 40, 50 years from now. I love to read your answer. I think that's the part I enjoy most is when you share that thought with me. So anyway, have a wonderful Friday. Take care of yourself and stay cool if you're in a heat wave. And I'll see you next week back with Friday with Bagel. Bye now.